of money. Twins have a budget that they try to maintain, and they try to build within. And I think we'll see a lot of that building within this year, especially in the outfield with Rosario, hopefully Buxton in center, and Miguel Sano, now the new right fielder.
No, when you look at the stats from the rotation last year, they did a great job of lowering their team ERA. What's the next step for them? How do they compete in what is becoming an increasingly important pitcher-centric league?
Yeah, as you know, it all comes down to good pitching. The Twins need to win the 2-1 ball game, the 3-2 ball game. Starters need to go deeper in the ball game. So, a Glenn Perkins or a Kevin Jepson and Casey Thien, they don't get worn out by, the middle of August. So the Twins are looking for, a full season out of Irvin Santana. Of course, last year he started on the suspended list. Phil Hughes had some back issues last year. Hopefully that's behind him. And, Kyle Gibson is a young kid that is, I think, getting better and better. And the Twins have a nice problem this year. They are looking for that fourth and fifth starter, and they got some names to look at. Trevor Duffy, Tyler Duffy, Jose Barrios, who has really come through the system very nicely, a former number one pick for the Twins back in 2012 out of Puerto Rico. Ricky Nolasco's been a disappointment the last 2 years, and he's got 2 more years in his contract. And I know I saw him the other day. He looks great. He's raring to go, and hopefully fill one of those spots in the rotation. And the Twins want to go with a lefty in a rotation. They have the option of going to Tommy Malone. So there's a lot of names, especially those 5, fighting for 2 spots.
Yeah, Malone was an interesting prospect a couple of years ago when I was out in California. He came up with the A's, and he was very good at home, and his road splits weren't as good. And he's kind of fallen off a little bit here. I thought there was a point, Bert, where Tommy Malone may emerge as a star. What happened to him?
Well, he had that tumor in his neck that he had taken care of, and then last year he got injured. And, of course, with the injuries in baseball, they can sometimes you try to pitch through them, and that's what he tried to do. And it wasn't the best year, but this kid knows how to pitch. He's a crafty lefty that will keep you in ball games, and I think that's what the Twins are looking for if they go with a left-hander of a Tommy Malone that changes speeds well. He had some good years in Oakland. And the Twins, hopefully he can get back to that.
We're talking to Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven, of course, part of the Twins broadcast team. He's been there for a long time. Finally got in the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. It's about time. We were always pining for him, and he's in there, so well-deserved.
Yeah, most certainly. Congratulations on that, by the way. What can we expect from Joe Mauer? We obviously know he switched. He's first baseman now full-time, and but you look at his numbers, his power numbers, they weren't great. 8 home runs.
Yeah, terrible.
I mean, what can we expect from him? He's 33 years old. He can't be traded. So what's the prognosis, so to speak?
Well, Joe has had some, and he's come out publicly and said since the concussion he had a couple years ago that the eyesight has not been to where, good hitters like a Mauer or, Carew or anybody like that, they have that Wade Boggs, they have that capability of picking that baseball out of that pitcher's hand as soon as they release it. And he's had a tough time over the last couple of years adjusting to that. As far as power, he won the MVP in the last year in 2009 in the Dome when he hit 28 home runs, but that was more of a homer dome. And I think Target Field is a little bit too big for him, but Joe hopefully will get back to what he is, a career 300 hitter and a guy that can hopefully drive in 70, 80 runs and maybe hit, in the teens as far as home runs. I don't think the Twins are looking for 20 home runs out of Joe. They're just looking for his consistency and getting on base. He played in the most games he's played in his whole career last year. I think he played in 155 games. So they're looking for a healthy Joe Mauer to just go about in that number 3 spot, get on base, and create havoc.
Bert, I'm a big Dozier fan. I picked him up on my fantasy team a couple of years ago, and he's rewarded me with some pop, man. He hit 24 homers a year ago. He's second baseman, for those who don't know. Obviously, you get power at second base. That's a premium spot. There's not many guys that do that in the league. Cano when he's on, a few others. But he's good. I wonder, organizationally, do you think the Twins would rather see him maybe sacrifice a couple of bombs and get out of the 240 neighborhood? Because the average is just really low, but he's a big threat with the power. Is there a next level for him?
Well, I know Tom Bernansky, the hitting coach, what he'd like to do is cut down on a lot of the strikeouts the Twins have had over the last 3 or 4 years. And, they just want some maybe to choke up with 2 strikes. But that's not Brian Dozier. He's kind of guy that if that ball's in his eye level, he'll hit it a long way. He, too, is, like you said, he's one of your favorites. He's also one of my favorites, and I think he's one of the Twins' favorites if you're a Twins fan, because this guy plays hard.
Yep.
He's almost like, like the Peanut character that always was dirty, and he plays that way. And he's fun to watch.
You'll appreciate this. This just popped in. I could be really off base. I almost look back to your generation, and I feel like he's kind of like a Bobby Grich type.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. He
go.
does a great job around second base. He's not afraid to, like Gritchy did, put that knee in front of the bag and, take one for the team as far as getting an out.
So what is Byung-ho Park all about? Korean numbers off the charts, 50-plus home runs, back-to-back years. This guy going to hit? Give us a scouting report here, Bert.
Who knows? The adjustment from Korean baseball to U.S. baseball is going to be quite a experience for him. He did play in the first game yesterday. He struck out 3 times. But, the numbers are there. The Twins feel that the 350-some batting average, the 53 home runs that he hit last year in Korea will hopefully, create some power and hopefully some average in that DH spot. And with the DH spot being filled by Park, who's also a third baseman and a first baseman, they had to put Miguel Sano out in right field. And, right now Torrey Hunter's in camp just to help him out. So that's nice to see.
Is he a lock to make the team, Bert? Park?
I believe so. I believe Sano is, yes. It's Buxton, I think, that everybody is kind of talking about. Can he hit up here? Of course, a 5-tool type player, but he has had a tough time really offensively so far in